Hey kids, Mr. Glenn here. Hope you're well. What we're going to do in this session is look at different browsers, and in this case here we have two versions of Chrome, and they are owned by and built by different companies. Chrome itself is its own browser, and it is an open source project. And what that means is all the code that makes this application is open for anyone to use, and there are different varieties of Chrome, and one of them is owned by Google. So here I have just opened that one by accident. So here, this one on this side is owned by Google, and I'm signed in with a Google account with school. This one, on the other hand, is Chrome, but this one is called Microsoft Edge, and this is in beta. So this is still being developed by Microsoft, and soon it will become a proper polished version. They look and act very different, very similarly, but they are different underneath. So how are they different? Well, when you sign in to a Chrome browser in Edge, this one changes the way in which adverts and these trackers, these things here, follow you around the web. And you will notice that they have been taken away here, and it is these things here that are part of the problem with the tracking that follows you around the internet. We're going to look into these and see what is being blocked, and I'm suspecting it is inside this thing here, which is called uBlock Origin. However, we need to remember that Google is a giant advertising company. The vast majority of their money that they make each year, around about 80%, is from advertising. So how do they do this? Well, inside YouTube they have lots and lots of adverts and trackers and things like that that follow you around the web, and they also have different companies that are inside these pages that work and deliver data on things that you click on and what you share and things like that. So we can't see that, but you can see immediately here, without any trackers on, any tracker blockers or advert blockers here, you can see that this here is showing me some things that I don't really want on my computer, and I don't want it to be following me. So the other difference is that when we try and stop things, sometimes the pages behave differently too. And this is what can really put people off. And I'm going to show you how to get past that and how to use these trackers properly in the other type of browser called Firefox, which puts your data first. They are not an advertising company, and they do not share your data in a way that the others do. They do use your data, but that is to make Firefox better. So as we look through the two pages, they look very, very similar. So they're not always like this though, and so there are the trackers again that are underneath this page, and you can see that there are other bits and pieces within this page too. So far, so good. But let's go into Firefox and the old style Internet Explorer, or Edge, as this is going away and is going to be this style. You can see that these are still here, and so far in Firefox I have allowed something in here, and you'll see this in a second. You can see that the pictures are slightly different, and as we go through here you can see when there isn't an ad blocker or a tracker, the adverts appear. Now, this is probably here because I was looking for sweatpants the other day in here as an experiment, and you'll see that video later with the different trackers that I'm trying to, on purpose, get to follow me. And you can see that the snag is that the images on this side have been taken away. So it's got the titles in there, but not the picture. Why? Well, what we've got to do is inside my ad blockers, we asked you to install an extension alongside uBlock Origin called NoScript. Out of all of these blockers, NoScript is possibly the most important, and it is also the most powerful at being able to prevent you from being tracked, and it works hand in hand and helps uBlock Origin and all the other ones in here to stop the trackers from following you around the web. And all you've got to do is look inside it and see what you can actually turn on temporarily here with the one with the S with the clock next to it. So we've got different options here. We've got temporarily allow it, completely allow it, block it across Firefox, and you can customize it too. Now, we don't want to customize it just yet. What we want to do is we would like to allow the bbc.com. I might temporarily allow .co.uk because I'm wondering why these two are different. I would expect them to be the same because they're the BBC, and the bbci.co.uk. What is this? So I'm going to temporarily allow that because I can turn it off again. However, underneath here is a thing called Chartbeat, and I would imagine that's why there is the green share on there from before. I'm going to block this completely because this is a tracker. Let's go and refresh the page, and we can refresh it with the green curly arrow here. Hopefully when we click the green curly arrow, this picture should appear. So I'm going to go and do that and refresh the page. Now, immediately, as soon as we allow certain things on this page, probably BBCI or bbc.co.uk, all of these extra trackers appeared as well. I know that doubleclick.net is owned by Google. This is the main advertising driver that is on this page. I am definitely going to untrust this. If you untrust all these will start to be blocked on every other page that you visit inside Firefox. So I'm going to block those. However, I'm going to keep these three because they are owned by the BBC, and that's exactly where we are. You can also see straight away that the pages start to look exactly as they do, but without the trackers and without the adverts. Sadly, I'm expecting this to be the BBC-I, so I'm going to go and have another little check, go back into NoScript, and I'm going to go and just block this one for a moment and see what happens when I refresh this page. Like this. I expected as much. The share button, I don't suppose, is attached to Facebook, the Messenger, Twitter, etc, etc, etc. Let's see what happens. Nothing. It's a dead link. Right. I'm happy with that. Absolutely happy with that, and you should be too. What I was talking about before, though, was that in the other, and open up my Chrome. So now I've got these two browsers here open. So I've got Chrome and Microsoft's Chrome, which is Edge. What I was talking about was how the two change in terms of what services which are owned by Google are allowed to be used in different ways because they are owned by Google. So YouTube is owned by Google. So the problem is that what adverts are being allowed in here. Now the adverts generally aren't on this page straight away, they're normally right at the very, very top. So there aren't any adverts here in this version because the settings are changed. But if I go to YouTube in this one, it will be completely different because the adverts will be at the very, very top. There will also be inside the suggested videos at the top and on the side. If we go into Firefox and we open up YouTube and see the difference, not now, and go OK, the pages might be different because of the way that I've split this. So if we open this page up, this also signals to the advertisers what videos are where. Let's go and pause this so we don't have to listen to it. Pause that. Up next, there we go, straight away, adverts. So the advert here is allowed to be on, and the advert for Colgate is also at the beginning of this page, at the beginning of this video. Let's go out of here and go into YouTube, and this one here, we can go and see this watermelon. Pause this, no adverts. There aren't any adverts because they've all been blocked. Now as I scroll down, usually there are more and more trackers. You can see that it went from 15 to 16. And all the trackers and adverts are inside these videos or these thumbnails. What happens when you watch videos in YouTube is that there are different trackers within NoScript. So again, double click, it's Google. Google.com I've untrusted for the moment, but you can turn it back on. Google Video is actually this video. So this is taken from Google Video, and G-static is sometimes the thumbnails that are from here. Because if we turn some of these on and allow them through, you will see that all the trackers will appear, and you have to go in and turn them off one by one. What this allows you to do though is continue to use YouTube as it's supposed to be used, with full screen, cinema mode, etc, etc, but without all the accompanying adverts and trackers that happen on YouTube anyway. So it's up to you now to go into this and check this out, particularly on YouTube. If you want to go into YouTube, you can go into the BBC and check out what happens with the BBC. Then go into the pages that you normally go into on the internet. Maybe they are games. So one of the games sites that I go to is Polygon, and it's a games news site, and in here it tells me about computer games, and I want this to be as readable as possible. I don't want this broken. So inside here I will go into this, and you can see I've been in before, and I allow Polygon on, but I turn off all the others because they are just tracking me. You can see them all, but the page is still readable and all the links still work. So when I go into this Xbox Series prototype leak, you can see that things in here are still working. It's completely readable. I can see what's going on, and if there's an error in here, I can turn one of them on or turn one of them off, or make them temporarily turn on for a while and make sure that it works. Now, your turn. Good luck.